Good morning, student. Today we will do the revision of our fourth unit, Physical Education and Sports for Children with Special Needs. Before this, we should understand the concept of disability. What is disability? The disability is an impairment that may be cognitive, development, intellectual, mental, physical, sensory, or some combinations of this. Means disability, it is a lack of capacity to do the work effectively. It is an impairment that affects everyday activity of an individual. It affects a person's life activity and it may be present from birth or occur during a person's lifetime, like due to accident. So disability means it is a disability, it is a medical condition which does not allow an individual to perform his day-to-day activity in a normal way, like how the normal people do the work, but the disabled persons is not able to do their daily routine work normally due to disability. It is a disadvantage. Disability, it's a disadvantage. It is an impairment that affect the functioning of his body. Therefore, it affects the activity, daily activity. Like if there is any injury in the leg, then he can't work. This is a disability. This disability, it may be present in an individual from birth or occurs during a lifetime due to accident, polio, etc. And generally, disability, it can't be cured. Next is disorder. Disorder, it is a problem or illness which affects someone's mind or body. Disorder, it is mainly related to a mind. It is a problem or illness which affects someone's mind or body. It is usually a mental disability. Okay, disorders create disturbance in an individual to perform his activity and reduce his efficiency. Disorders only disturb the individual to do his day-to-day activity. Therefore, the efficiency of the persons reduce. In the beginning, disorder seems to be ordinary, that is normal, but usually it grow and spread in a harmful manners in an individual's, and if a proper care is not taken, the disorders change into disability, and if it changes into disability, it can't be cured. Mostly the disorder in the beginning, disorders cannot be detected. As a result, the simple disorders change into disability. The cause of disability, disorders, it may be due to genetic factors or embryonic failures, or due to taking some poison, trauma, disease, etc. These are the cause of disorders. So from here we there is the difference between disability and disorders is that disability, it is a disadvantage that make a person's incapable or restrict the functioning of his body, and disorders, it is a disturbance caused to normal functioning of his body. Okay, disability, it is the in disability the person is incapable or restrict his normal functioning, but in disorders it only disturb the normal functioning of a person's. Disorders, disability, it is a disadvantage. Disorders, it is a disturbance. Disability, it can't be cured. Disorders, it can be cured. Disability, it is mainly linked with the body part and disorders, it is mainly linked with the mental problems, and there is no chance of becoming normal. Disability, there is no chance of becoming normal, and disorders, there is a chance of becoming the normal if you take a proper treatment. If you do proper treatment, then it may be for example, eye disability. An eye disability means you can't see, you are completely blind. And eye disorders means due to the weakness of eye, you are unable to see properly. But if you do the treatment, then it can be cured. Okay. Or in hearing impairment, hearing disability. In hearing disability, you can't hear, you are completely deaf. But hearing disorders, and in hearing disability, if you don't care, then it may leads to disability. So the disorders should be it should be detected and cured, so that the simple disorders should not change into disability. This is the concept of disorders and disability. Okay, disability, it is an impairment that affect your day-to-day activity, and disorders, it is a problem or illness which affects someone's mind or body. Types of disability. Type of disability. There are various type of disability related to physical, mental impairment, etc., which reduce the person's ability to do his day-to-day activity. This impairment can be termed as disability of a person to do his day-to-day activity. Disability can be broken into subcategory. Okay, disability reduce a person's ability to do his day-to-day activity. If there is a disability, types of disability. First is physical impairment, mobility or physical impairment. In this disability, it affects the mobility or the person's ability to use their upper or body part. This is physical impairment. It is generally related to the structures of bones. Okay, physical impairment, it occurs when the structures of bone is affected or alters, no longer normal. Okay, physical impairment, it is generally related to structure of bones. Your bones is no longer responding, affected. You are not able to use it properly. For example, you are not able to use your hand, leg, etc. Second is sensory impairment. Sensory impairment means when one of the sense is no longer normal, that is hearing, smell, touch, taste, etc. This sense is no longer normal in sensory impairment. Next is cognitive or intellectual disability. Cognitive or intellectual disability. It is a cognitive or learning disability. It is a neurological disorders. It is a disorders related to a nervous system in which it creates hindrance in an individual to process, to store, process, and produce the information. Okay, cognitive or we can say learning disability, it is generally related to neurological disorders. Therefore, you are not able to store, process, and produce the information. Cognitive disability are the kind of impairment present in the pupils who are suffering from dyslexia. Dyslexia means the person is not able to read, write, and various others learning difficulty. These are it is the cognitive disability. Okay, cognitive disability means cognitive disability. It is an impairment present in people's when the person is suffering from dyslexia, means when a person is not able to read, write, speak, etc., and face difficulty in speech also. Okay, so these are neurological disorders. Your mind and cognitive disability, the mind is not able to store, process and produce the information. Therefore, he faced difficulty in reading, writing and speaking. Example, if he is learning something, he has a problem in storing, processing and producing the information. Therefore, he faced the problems with memory, thinking, imaginations, remembering, etc. Okay, the person is not able to store, process or produce the information. This is cognitive disability. The persons who is suffer from cognitive disability, he has the following symptoms like memory disorders. Therefore, he faced difficulty in remembering what he has heard. He faced difficulty to store it. Hyperactivity, the individuals is not able to pay attention in a single things, is not able to pay attention. And dyslexia means when a person faces difficulty in reading, writing and speaking. These are the symptoms of cognitive disability. Next is intellectual disability, learning disability. Intellectual disability, it generally involves with general mental ability that affect, okay, the person's IQ level is low. In intellectual disability, this can include intellectual and developmental disability, which is related to thought process. If the person is intellectually if the person is intellectual disabled, then he faces difficulty in thought process, learning, communications, remembering the informations and using that informations properly. Is face difficulty in doing the judgment, problem solving, etc., because his IQ level is less. This is intellectual disability. These are the types of disability. The peoples with the intellectual disability learn new skill, but they learn them very slowly. First thing, so disability and disorders. Disability, it is a medical conditions which does not permit an individual to do his day-to-day activity or movement as a normal people do. And disorders, it is a mental problem or illness that mental problem or illness that affect the someone mind. It is generally related to mind. Disorders generally related to mind. Types of disability. First is mobility or physical impairment. In physical impairment, the person is not able to use his body, not able to use his upper limb, upper body part, lower body part, etc. The person affect mobility or a person's ability to use their body. Okay, the person is not able to use their body. Sensory impairment. Sensory impairment means his sense is no longer normal. His sense is no longer normal. The sensory impairment, that is the sense like seeing, hearing, touch, taste, awareness, etc., is no longer normal. And learning learning cognitive or learning disability. Cognitive and learning disability, it is a neurological disorders in which the persons face difficulty in storing, processing and producing the informations. Therefore, if the person is not able to store, process and produce information, therefore he faces difficulty in reading, writing, speaking also, etc. And intellectual disability, it is intellectual disability. Intellect does not work properly. His IQ level, his mind is not work properly. Therefore, he faces difficulty in thought process, learning, communications, remembering the informations, making the judgment, problem solving, etc. He learned the new things, but slowly. He face his learning process is slow. Next is, and the most common cause of intellectual disability, it may be due to genetic problems during pregnancy, problems during childbirth, etc. These are the cause of intellectual disability. Now, cause of disability. What are the cause of disability? The cause of disability vary as a person's age. The severity of disability can change. The cause of disability, it may be genetically, it may be due to genetic factors, environmental factors, or due to unknown cause, etc. These are the cause of disability. Genetically means genetically determined disability is usually inherited from the parents. Genetic, that is, which we inherited from the parents. However, a new genetic errors can occur leading to symptoms of that condition. He get the disability. He get the disability from his parents due to genetic factors. Example of this are cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy. And environmental determined disability result from accident. Environmental disability, that is due to accident, road accident, injury, disease, infection, and unknown cause. And examples include acquired during brain injury, spinal cord injury, diabetes, etc. These are the unknown cause. First thing, the cause of disability is cancer. First is the heredity. Okay, the child gain the disability as a heredity from his parents. The cause of disability due to the heredity. Next is cancer. Cancer, it is a faster growing cause for disability. Heart attack, if your heart is not beat normally, if there is a heart disease, heart attack, stroke, heart stroke, people may live with heart disease for the years or decade. Heart attack, okay, heart attack, it also the cause of disability. Diabetes, in case of majority long term diabetes, diabetes is due to the deficiency of insulin production in their digestive system. Therefore, there is too much sugar in the blood due to deficiency of insulin. Diabetes, it causes the majority of long-term disability. Musculoskeletal disability, that is back pain, injury, arthritis, etc. These are the cause of disability. Or disease, one of the major cause of disability in human are disease. It affects the normal functioning of body. Thus, the Thus, the disability like deafness, lack of coordination, blindness, etc. may arise due to the disease. Malnutrition. It is also the cause of disability. If the child does not get a proper diet, it may lead to malnutrition. War. In modern time, many poisonous things like poisonous poison and dangerous equipment, dangerous weapon are the cause of disability. Pesticides are another poison. Chemicals are in great use for today. It causes many people with disability. Accident. Disorder, it is a problem or illness which affects someone's mind or body. Disorder, it is mainly used for mind. Disorders create disturbance in an individual performance and reduce his efficiency. Let's discuss about type of disorders. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, it is a brain disorders marked by an ongoing patterns of inattentions or hyperactivity, impulsivity, etc., which interfere with functioning or developmentals. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, it is a neurodevelopmental type. In this disorder, the person is not able to pay attention. He is hyperactive and impulsivity. Symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorders like the person is not able to pay attention, doing excessive activity, difficulty to control his behaviors, etc. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, it is of three types: inattentions, hyperactivity and impulsivity. Inattentions, it means a person is not able to pay attention. He is unable to focus on the things for a long time. Hyperactivity. Hyperactivity, it means the persons seem to move about constantly, including in situations in which it is not appropriate. That is, he faces trouble in sitting for a short time. He is not able. He constantly moving here and there, etc. Impulsivity, it means a person's make hasty actions without thinking, doing anything without thinking, which may affect him, which have high potential for harming him. This is about the attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. The cause of attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, it may be genetic, due to genetic brain injury. When a baby brain is damaged before or after the birth, it may lead to ADHD. Low birth weight, it is observed that the children with low birth weight are more likely to develop attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. Trauma, brain disease, etc. These are the cause for attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. Its management technique, it can be managed by doing counseling, changing his lifestyle, medications, behavior therapy, etc. This is about the attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. In this disorder, the person is not able to pay attention. He is hyperactive and impulsivity. Next is sensory processing disorders. Sensory processing disorders, in this the brain has trouble in receiving and responding the informations that come in through the sense. Okay, in sensory processing disorders, it is in this it is a brain in which the brain has difficulty in receiving and responding the information that come in through the sense. In this sensory processing disorders, the sense may be affected, like hearing, taste, etc. It is not working. In this, the persons may overreact or underreact to the things they have difficulty with. It cause may be due to genetic factors, low birth weight, environmental factors, etc. Its management technique by changing his lifestyle, therapy, etc. Next is autism spectrum disorders. Autism spectrum disorders, it is a developmental disorders. Okay, autism spectrum disorders, it is a developmental disorders. ASD include wide range and level of the disability. People with ASD often have this characteristic, like ongoing social problems that include difficulty. The child faces difficulty in communicating and interacting with other persons, doing the same repeated behaviors, as well as limited interest interest or activity. Okay, autism spectrum disorders, it is a developmental disorders. The young children with ASD face difficulty in communications, language, social skill and behaviors. ASD, it is categorized by social inattention, difficulty to communicate, tendency to engage in repetitive behaviors, etc. And the cause, the symptoms are typically recognized in the first 2 years. Symptoms of ASD. Okay, autism spectrum disorder, its symptoms is the child will not socialize, he prefers to live alone, feel difficulty to express his emotion, etc. And its cause may be due to genetic factors, environmental factors, psychological factors, social factors, etc. Management technique: by changing his lifestyle, counseling, medications, behavior therapy, physical activity, etc. Next is oppositional defined disorders. Oppositional defined disorders, it is mainly seen in the child. In this, the child displays an ongoing patterns of angry, irritation, mood, argumentative behaviors, etc. Okay, the child behaviors or often disturb the child normal life. Okay, in oppositional defined disorders, it is mainly seen in the children. The child show the ongoing patterns of aggressiveness, fighting, refuse to obey his seniors, frustration behaviors, failure to think before he is speaking, feeling annoying, etc. Symptoms of oppositional defined disorders, its symptoms like the child refuse to obey, blaming others, argumentative behaviors, always angry, easily annoyed, loose-tempered, wants to take revenge, etc. Cause may be genetic factors, biological factors, psychological factors, environmental factors, brain injury, etc. Its management technique, we can manage through counseling, family therapy, social skill training, changing his lifestyle, anger management program, etc. Next is obsessive compulsive disorders. Obsessive compulsive disorders, it is a mental disorders where people feel the needs to check the things repeatedly, perform certain routines repeatedly, or have certain thought repeatedly. Means in this type of disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, it is a type of mental disorders in which the unwanted thought come in the mind. Therefore, to get the read from this thought, the person do the same thing again and again, like checking that the door is closed or not, washing the hand again and again, etc. Okay, obsessive compulsive disorders, it is a unwanted thought come in the mind, therefore he do the same thing again and again. In these symptoms, like unable to control his thought activity, checking the same thing again and again, etc. The cause may be due to biological factors, low birth weight, low levels of neuro problem in pathway of the brain, genetic factors, infection, environmental factors, etc. Management technique, usually the treatment involve counseling such as cognitive behavior therapy, and sometimes medications, etc. can be done. This is about the disorders. Okay, disorders, it is a problem or illness which affects someone's mind or body.